you see some quite ugly racism in country towns especially, with the non-Aboriginal people saying it's all the fault of Aboriginal people. But here's the irony. Many of the elites today are making the whole debate much harder to have because they're not blaming the Aboriginal people. They're saying they're victims and we whiteys are the problem.
Yes.
It's all our fault. Our culture's the evil one that's done these terrible things.
Yes.
And what happens with both of those, we lose our humanity and our understanding that we're actually all in this together.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And then dishonesty goes.
Yeah.
And you get virtue signalling, like let's change the date of Australia Day, from people who want to engage in symbolism for reasons of loathing of our own culture.
Yes.
More than, I'm being really blunt here, I think a genuine understanding of what's going to make a difference for Aboriginal people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And of course, it is like a distraction, if you like. Well, we're not actually fixing any problems. So let's look over here to this lovely bit of symbolism that'll make you feel warm and fuzzy while we don't actually get to the crux of the issue and deal with it on a human basis.
Yeah.
And that's what frustrates me the most is that, you know, if you're a human and you've got white skin, you're not allowed to have an opinion on anything to do with anyone of dark skin. It's, you know, when there's so much goodwill out there for non-Aboriginal people toward Aboriginal people, if we get people of Aboriginal descent continually who are the, you know, in the elite of this country, who are turning around and continually saying, you know, it's all the fault of the white man, yet they themselves have had all this wonderful opportunity, have paved a way for them to, you know, become elitists in this country, and turn around and say everything's the white man's fault and I'm still a victim. One, it's completely untrue. It's telling a lie because you're not a victim, because you wouldn't be where you are without the support of the white people that have helped you get to where you are. And they're human beings just like you, and they're trying to do their best in their own lives as well. But you're not actually helping the most marginalised Aboriginal people who are nothing but Aboriginal, who have their culture intact, who have their language intact. They are the most marginalised. And to turn around and say to all those people with goodwill, it's all your fault, that goodwill is going to fade at some point. You know, people are going to get sick of continually being called a name. And when they're there, they've got, you know, they've opened themselves and they're saying, what can we do to assist? Effectively, they're stopping any kind of understanding of what it simply is to be human, to help in the best way that they can with these circumstances, with this situation. It's like, you know, it is far more important not to cause offence, I guess, than it is to address real issues. And people don't want to cause offence. People don't want to put themselves in the firing line, if you like. And I've had a gutful, and I'm quite happy to stand there while guns are blazing, because it's time the nonsense came to an end so we can actually start to really, you know, address these issues on the basis that we're all human.
Terrifically insightful remarks. A comment, if I may, and then a lead into your thoughts as a question on something else. On Australia Day, it seems to me that the worst thing you could do for Aboriginal people would be to change the date. That might sound a funny thing to say, but I say it for this reason. I think we ought to work hard to make Australia Day a day when we reflect more on the good and the bad. If you move the date, you'll forget the need for an honest debate about what happened, because there were aspects of it that were noble, the attempt to rehabilitate people, and in fact the sailing orders were very clear that the local people were to be treated with great respect. That was all in the orders. But then there were the utterly dreadful things that happened. The disease, the massacres that followed later, which were truly appalling. I mean, unbelievable. And it wasn't until after the Mile Creek massacre that anybody was really brought to justice for what they'd done. My point, though, is that the best thing we can do on Australia Day, in my view, is to celebrate the good things and reflect on the things that we need to learn from. That'd be my sort of comment. And then we come to the issue that you've just raised, which is what do we actually do to make a difference? We've got to, I know I've said it before, a bit hackneyed now, but break the cycle.